Hey guys and girls, my name is Alan and welcome to this gameplay commentary. The match you're about to watch is a TDM that I played on the Titanfall open beta 2 weeks ago now. I know the timing's a bit off. There were two beta weekends for Titanfall. There was one 3 weeks ago. Sorry, there was 3 weeks ago, and then there was one 2 weeks ago. So this technically should have gone up last week, but the immediately after the beta finished, there was an update for Untitled 4, which included a free new map, and so I had to play it obviously to try it out, and there are some videos of that going up soon, so if not, you can also check out the update video that I did for Untitled 4 multiplayer, which is on Comm Vision. And then a couple of days after the update for Untitled 4, the Battlefield 1 beta went live, so obviously I had to play that. So I've been playing that pretty much on and off the entire week. Videos to come up for that as well, highlights collections, etc. Just like there will be highlights collections for Titanfall 2, and there'll be one other gameplay content I want to do for it. So that's probably going to come either end of this week or start of next week, and then I'll interweave it with some Battlefield gameplay as well for you to enjoy. Okay, so Titanfall 2 is made by Respawn Entertainment, who, if you're, I guess, old enough, will remember they contributed towards the first Modern Warfare game and Modern Warfare 2, COD 4 and MW2, if you will. And so, you know, they've obviously got some history with the first-person shooter genre, and you could argue that they sort of helped kick it off and made it what it is today. So there was a bit of drama back in the day, and they left, and part of the company left, and they set up their own called Respawn Entertainment, and they now work for EA, who obviously are rivals to Activision, and this is their game. So the reason why I'm giving you the background history on it is because if, like me, you've never owned an Xbox, you would never have tried this game, or at least maybe you've never tried it anyway. But the first one was only released on Xbox 360, never on PS3, and at the time, yeah, I kind of felt a bit gutted because I wanted to try it out. But having played the beta now for Titanfall 2, I can sort of see it's probably not my sort of game. It's a little bit spacey, a little bit sci-fi, even though obviously it keeps like elements of you know, generic first-person shooter. The setting and the environment doesn't really sort of fit with what I normally play. I mean, it wasn't a bad game to play, don't get me wrong, but it wasn't something that I don't think I could play on a regular basis, put it that way. So you might be noticing that this is just a standard TDM. It's called Pilots versus Pilots. There are no Titans, well, as the name of the game would suggest. And so it's just, yeah, literally just human players killing other human players. There's no AI, there's no Titans, there's no robots, there's none of that stuff. So it's pretty standard. The one thing I will note, obviously, is that these maps are designed so that, obviously, you can walk around with a Titan. You can call them in, that sort of thing. So in that respect, it's quite big. And so for Pilots versus Pilots, I think the maps are a little bit oversized. I feel like maybe they should have, I don't know, either cut it in half or sectioned off certain areas so that, you know, to keep the map smaller, more engagements a bit more frequent. Having said that, you can get around the map quite quickly, so I guess you can sort of chase enemies and stuff. But if the lobby is half full, or if, you know, people are camping, then it can be a bit of a pain to try and find people to kill, and it can get a bit boring in that respect. So sometimes you'll see there'll be like a lull of action, and then other times I'll run into a room and there'll be like, you know, a few people there for me to kill. Alright, so as I said, the game mode is called Pilots vs Pilots. It's basically a TDM. First team to hit the number of kills, the target number of kills, wins the match, and then obviously if you don't, you lose. So the loadout's pretty similar to any other FPS shooter. As I said, probably more similar to COD than it is to Battlefield, but it is a slightly different game in its own right. You have a primary, you have a secondary. Primaries consist of assault rifles, SMGs, LMGs, sniper rifles, and secondaries you can have pistols, you can have a launcher. The launchers generally are designed to take out Titans, but you can use them against players as well. I've actually managed to get a couple of kills with the laser shooter thing. So it's basically, I guess you'd call it a sniper, but it's, as I said, it's designed more to take on Titans than it is to take on human players. But you can do both. Okay, so what I thought was a little bit weird is that they give you a grenade slot, but unlike Call of Duty where you get one lethal, one tactical. In this, you can either bring a lethal or you can bring a tactical. So I'd compare it to something like Uncharted, where you can either bring one or the other. You can't bring one of each. So it's on the right hand side, just next to the weapon. That's the grenade slot. So you can either bring like a normal frag grenade, you can bring a smoke grenade, or you can bring like a stun grenade / EMP grenade. Probably the best way. I don't know. You might see an example of it actually in the video. I don't know. I can't remember. Yeah, I am using it, but I don't know if I actually hit anyone with it. And immediately to the left of it, that little dagger thing, that, I can't remember what it's called, but basically you throw it and it'll send out like a pulse of sonar, and any enemies in the area will be highlighted, will be pinged basically. And I think at the very start of the video I got pinged by an enemy dagger, so you get an idea of how it works if you're on the receiving end of it. And also I actually used it a couple of times, so you've probably seen it in action from my point of view as well. So in that slot you can also have a tactile cloak, which turns you sort of invisible. You know, they give you that little see-through camouflage, and that covers your entire body, so you can sort of sneak up on people or run away or whatever. I can't remember what the other one was. Was there another one? See, I'm getting a bit confused between that slot there and the one directly above it. And the one above it is called a boost, and what it is you can equip something to help boost your performance in the game. So the thing that I've got equipped at the moment are called ticks, and when they recharge, you throw out a tick and it'll pop into a little crawly spider robot thing, and it'll hunt down players and blow up if they get close to one. I think they do have a time limit, and you can accidentally destroy them as well. So if you sort of like throw a grenade at the same place as they're running towards an enemy, you can actually destroy your own tick. But the explosion can also get the enemies, so it could work out that way, I suppose. And in that same slot, you can have something called amping, so you can sort of boost the power of your bullets for a short amount of time. Which I don't know, I try and use it a little bit, but I wasn't really sure about the effectiveness. But other players seem to use it quite well. I got melted a couple of times when I first started playing. Speaking of getting melted, the first night that I was playing, the time to kill, as in me getting killed by enemy players, was insanely quick. Like, there was you couldn't react whatsoever. As soon as the screen turned red, you were dead. There was no turning around, there was no jumping, there was no running, there was no boosting away from it. And I thought that was the way the game was. But then on the second night and the other nights that I played, I realised that the time to kill was actually not too bad. So I don't know what the hell was going on in that first night, whether I was joining a really laggy server or players, but I don't want to say hacking because it's beta, but something wasn't right, because the time to kill was insanely quick and I just couldn't react whatsoever. But I was still taking it still took me a couple of seconds to kill enemy players. So I don't know what was going on that first night, but it was almost enough to put me off from playing it again. But I thought I'd give it another crack, and as I said, the next couple of days the time to kill seems to be fine on both sides. So I don't know what was going on that first time. Right, so well, the match is actually come to an end now, so that was quicker than I thought. Didn't get to explain too much about it. I said there is another gameplay commentary coming up soon. I'll probably talk a bit more about the Titans and things that I missed out in today's video. But something I want to talk on quickly before we end this video is that the wall running and the boost jumping doesn't seem that fluid to me. I don't know if this is normal or obviously I didn't play the first one, so I don't know how to compare it. But if I compare it to the only game that I can think of, and that's Black Ops 3, Black Ops 3 seems to do it a lot better. The boost jumping, the wall running, the jumping off the walls and stuff like that, it just seems to work better on Black Ops 3. As I said, I don't know if it's just whether it's me not used to it in this game, or maybe in this game it's not as good as the first game or something, but it just seems for something they've worked on for 2 games now, it should be a little bit better. Now, the little segment that we're watching now is at the end of the game, there's always this escaping section. So if you're on the losing team, you have to try and make it to the escape ship. And if you escape, you get like bonus points or something. So it's something to do at the end of the game. It's not great, because if you do get killed, then you've got basically just sit and watch the rest of your teammates try and escape. And also at the start of the game, you saw there was a little opening section where the game drops you in, which is quite nice. Reminds me a little bit of Untitled multiplayer. They had that little segment in TDM, which I think they eventually took out for whatever reason. But you know, it just add a bit more to each game as it decided. Anyway, as I said, more gameplay commentaries come up soon for Battlefield 1 and for Titanfall 2 at the betas, and highlights collections will go up as well. Any thoughts you'd like to share with me regarding the beta, let me know in the comment section below. If you enjoyed the video, consider tapping the like button, I really do appreciate it. And as I said, more content to come over the next couple of days and weeks. More Titanfall 2 stuff, and as I said, Battlefield 1 beta footage to go up as well. But until next time, thanks for watching, thanks for listening, take care, and I will see you later.